Hello, I'm going to explain how we get an improved interpretation of midpoint structures using vibrational astrology. So there's something in astrology called midpoint structures. You may or may not be familiar with them. I think they're wonderful. They're very helpful. They give you very accurate and useful information about somebody's birth chart. And you can get an even better interpretation, even more information, if you use some additional, let's call them tricks or tools from vibrational astrology that gives more detailed information about the midpoint structure. So we're going to use the chart of the comedian Jerry Lewis, who was born on March 16, 1926. We'll use his chart to demonstrate the ideas. Jerry Lewis has an important midpoint structure. The reason it's important is, number one, it's a direct midpoint structure. It's Mercury, this is Mercury in his natal chart, at 13 degrees Aries, is at the midpoint of Moon and Uranus. So here's the Moon at 0 Taurus, Uranus at 25 Pisces, and the midpoint just means the point halfway in between. The middle of that distance between Moon and Uranus is Mercury. And down here in the lower right corner is what we call a midpoint tree diagram, and the Mercury at the top means that Mercury, and we have conjunction here, is conjunct the midpoint of Moon and Uranus. So Moon on the left and Uranus on the right means it's the midpoint with an 8-minute orb. That might be a little small for you to read, but it's saying that Mercury is conjunct the midpoint of Moon and Uranus with only an 8-minute orb. Now, Moon-Mercury-Uranus combinations are very common for comedians. I made another video about Moon, Mercury, and Uranus in the charts of comedians. It shows up very, very often. And here it's a direct midpoint structure. Mercury at Moon, Uranus. Why does it show up in comedians? Because the quickness, the fast reflexes, the instinctive response to things. Moon, Mercury, Uranus, it's an instinctive, quick, intuitive, rapid, clever response. And that's a talent that's very helpful for being a comedian. So there it is. Now, let me show you the little trick that helps you get more information. Oh, one more thing before I show you the trick. Jerry Lewis was born with Sun conjunct Uranus. In fact, it's Sun conjunct Uranus with a 3-minute orb. Sun is at 25 Pisces 22, Uranus at 25 Pisces 25. So not only is Mercury at the Moon-Uranus midpoint, which is very common for comedians, it's also at the Sun-Moon midpoint with a 9-minute orb. So that's being shown also in this midpoint tree diagram in the lower right corner. So with Sun and Uranus so close, anything that one of them does, the other one is going to be doing as well, because they're so close to each other. They're almost like one point. They're only 3 minutes apart. Okay, now let me show you the additional thing you can use from vibrational astrology to get more information about the midpoint structure. What you do is you find out what the aspect is. And here I'm showing a listing that we can produce in the software. And let me show you that listing. So here I am in the Sirius 2.0 software. And what we're going to find out, here's again the birth chart of Jerry Lewis, different wheel style, what we call an art wheel, with Mercury between Moon and Uranus, also between Moon and Sun. And what we want to know is what this angular distance is. It looks like it's about 17.5 degrees from 13 Aries to 0 Taurus, and from this 25 Pisces to 13 Aries. If we look at the minutes and look at it carefully, it looks like it's about 17.5 degrees. And what we want to know is what fraction of a circle that is. Suppose it's 1/15th or 1/16th or 1/17th of a circle, then it means that these 3 planets will be in the vibration of that fraction. And we have a feature in the Sirius software. It's also available in the Kepler 8 software, where we go to listings. We go to Harmonic Patterns Listings. Right here, Harmonic Patterns Listing, number 8. Direct midpoint structures in harmonic 1 to 128. And what this will do is it's going to look at those direct midpoint structures. Direct means a planet conjunct or opposition, the midpoint of two other planets, and it will tell us what the aspects are. And the idea in vibrational astrology is that these oddball fractions, like a 15th or a 16th or a 17th or an 18th of a circle, are not trivial. They're actually very important. That's the thing that's different about vibrational astrology and harmonic astrology from most other forms of astrology, is that we consider all these angular distances between the planets to be extremely important, and when you start taking them into account, you can identify the specific behavior, talent, and motivation of the person. So we scroll down, we look down here, and here it is. I'll highlight it. Mercury conjunct Mars-Uranus. There are 4 lines. Again, this might be a little small on the captured area because we shrink everything down when we show these videos. But in the actual program, it's easy to read. And it's saying that Mercury's conjunct Moon-Uranus midpoint with an 8-minute orb. You already know that. And it's telling us that it's also the 20th. It's in the 20th harmonic. 20 equals 5 times 4. It's in the 41st, 61st, and 102nd harmonics. Harmonic just means the denominator. Now, I know this sounds very far-fetched to a lot of astrologers, but in vibrational astrology, we believe that this is the key. This tells us the details of what's going on in the person's life. So not only does Jerry Lewis have Mercury conjunct the Moon-Uranus midpoint, it's in a 20, 41, 61, and a 102nd vibration. It's in those vibrations. Now, we don't yet completely know what the 41st and 61st harmonics mean. We haven't figured that out yet. We understand the harmonics up to 32, all the prime numbers. So the meaning of 20 is 5 times 4. 5 means play. 4 means you want to do it. A need to play, to act out, to express your playfulness. So with a 5 times 4 vibration, Jerry Lewis not only has fast reflexes and quick response to things because of Moon-Mercury-Uranus, it's playful. Now you've really got a comedian. This vibrational astrology is amazing because first we see from the midpoint structure he has fast reflexes, he's quick, he's clever, he can be spontaneous, and then we find out it's in a 5 times 4 vibration, meaning he wants to play with that energy, he wants to do something with it, not passively, because 4 is the vibration of action. You already know that. 4 means square. So it is a square in the 5 vibration. In the 5th harmonic chart, we will see Moon, Mercury, and Uranus probably in a T-square because there are squares involved. It's also in a 17 times 6 vibration. So, if we go back to our PowerPoint, I've just captured this listing that from here in the program and just copied and pasted it here. And I've just said, I've got written here exactly what I just described. We're not sure yet what the 41st and 61st harmonics charts mean, although we do have some ideas. In the last few years, we're starting to figure out these higher harmonics. We're not completely sure yet. We need to do more research. We know that 5 is playfulness. And we know that 17 gives an empathy and interest in the stories of people. That's what 17 does. 17 is an interest in the stories of people, especially people that you have a different lifestyle or different environment or a different culture from what you grew up with. So, which is also helpful for a comedian. We find 17 showing up in the charts of performers because a performer can enact the life of a different person. 17 is very common in actors, and Jerry Lewis also did acting. So it's performance. He has the perfect combination for a comedian. He's got the quick reflexes and fast response, the moon at Mercury-Uranus, also at Sun-Moon. It's in a 5 times 4 vibration, which means he wants to play, and he loves stories, and he can act and put on a show, which is what 17 is capable of doing. Perfect. So if I was looking at Jerry Lewis's chart and I didn't know who he was, I would see this. Anybody who uses vibrational astrology would see this. It's not magic. It's not some special gift. It's just knowing the rules of vibrational astrology. So this is a fantastic breakthrough in astrology that we've discovered, built on the work of many, many other people, that there are these intricate vibrational systems that are in the chart that have gone largely overlooked, and we've built software tools to find this information and present it to us. So the basic idea here is that midpoint structures are important. If you have a direct midpoint structure, meaning one planet is conjunct or opposition in the midpoint of two other planets, and the orb is very small, find out what the vibration is. And you can just read that right off the chart, right off the page, just describe what it means, and it will be a major part of the person's life. But the orbs have to be very small. Some people don't have any direct midpoint structures with small orbs in the natal chart. It just happens that Jerry Lewis does. What do you do if there aren't? Well, we actually also do this in harmonic charts as well, but that's a more advanced topic that I'm not going to get into in this video. So here's his fifth harmonic chart. Here's Jerry Lewis's fifth harmonic chart. And as I mentioned, Moon, here's the Moon at 3 Virgo, Mercury at 5 Gemini, Uranus at 7 Pisces, form a T-square. Moon, Mercury, Uranus. Because we're in the fifth harmonic chart, and they are in a 5 times 4, which means they will be in a 4 aspect squares, and one of them reduces to an opposition. Moon, Mercury, Uranus. And you've noticed, oh, there are 2 other planets. Not only are there those 3 planets, but the Sun is involved at 6 Pisces, because Sun and Uranus are so close together, as I mentioned in the natal chart. Wherever Uranus is, the Sun is there, and Pluto's there, making it compulsive, making it obsessive. And that's how Jerry Lewis is. He's crazy. He gets into these like tantrums, you might say. He just gets driven over the edge. Pluto. Pluto makes us compulsive or obsessive, which is part of the quality that Jerry Lewis has. So what we've done is we have found Jerry Lewis's motivation and talent for comedy. What I'm claiming, I've got this in this bottom paragraph here, is that vibrational astrology can actually identify these specific talents and motivations. And that's Jerry Lewis, the comedian. That's it. We found the pattern that leads to that. So this is a wonderful way to interpret charts. Find the direct midpoint structures, find out what vibration they're in, and you'll get a very detailed understanding of the person. Here's the 17th harmonic chart, and here's the Moon over here at 11 Virgo, and here is Uranus. So the Moon is trine the Sun and Uranus, and here's Mercury at the midpoint making sextiles. Notice this sextile is weak between Moon and Mercury. The trines are strong. The sextile it's there. It's not extremely weak, not extremely strong either. I can tell just by the thickness of the line. That's Mercury to Uranus. Mercury is out of orb to the Sun. There is no green line from Mercury to the Sun. So the Sun at 11 Capricorn, it's not within orb. So these patterns are very dependent on the exact time of birth. We notice that Sun and Uranus were only 3 minutes apart in the birth chart, but here that 3 minutes of difference in the birth chart makes a big difference in the harmonic chart. And that's one reason why people born close together in time are so different. These harmonic patterns, higher harmonics like 17, are very dependent on the birth time, being accurate within a few minutes or so. So there's the Moon, Mercury, Uranus in the making sextiles on the 17th. The Sun is also involved. In fact, this is half of a hexagon. It goes from Moon, Mercury, Uranus to Mars with a Moon-Mars opposition. And this is why he's so, you might almost say, aggressive or competitive, very forceful in his comedy. He's not, mild, meek, and laid back. he's active. He's also born with that Sun-Uranus conjunction. He's a a dynamo. So there it is. Increasing the power. The sextiles and trines are smooth. They are harmonious. He's got a natural gift for playing these roles, enacting them, being a performer and an actor. So the conclusion is that vibrational astrology provides an astrological language that enables us to see motivations, talents, and areas in which a person can excel. Analyzing the aspects involved in a direct midpoint structure with small orbs enables us to develop a detailed understanding of the midpoint structure. That's the bottom line. So I'm presenting a lot of information. Keep in mind the fundamental idea. The fundamental idea is what? Fundamental idea is that direct midpoint structures are important, point number one, and point number two, by looking at the vibration, the aspects, the harmonic aspect formed in that midpoint structure, we get more detailed information about it, and we get the entire story of Jerry Lewis's talent for comedy right there. That's the pattern that does it. Now, vibrational astrology is improving rapidly as we do three things. We apply the ideas, as we are doing here in this video, to different people. We conduct controlled research studies. So it's not just cherry-picking charts to illustrate ideas. We do controlled research studies, lots of them, and I have lots of videos on it. And the third thing that's important is we improve the software to provide the information. All three of these are essential. If we don't do the controlled research, it's too prone to bias, personal beliefs. There's so much going on with a person, it's really hard to know if you're on track or not. So the controlled research is extremely important. Actually using the ideas and applying them to charts, the ideas become alive. We feel it. We experience it. Also essential. And third, if you don't have the software, you can't do this stuff. So all three of these are things that we are engaged in with our colleagues, with our students, in developing all these things with our partners that we work with to develop all of these areas to further our understanding of astrology. So that's it, my friends. Here's the YouTube page for my videos, youtube.com/c/David Cochran 100. I also have articles at astrosoftware.com, which is our software site, our main software site. We actually have another software site, astrologysoftware.com. And if you go to astrosoftware.com, you'll see the link for videos and articles, lots of articles there. We have School of Astrology, AvalonAstrology.com. We have online astrology reports at starguidance.com. We have other free services at astrologyland.com. I've written some books, a recent one written by me and Linda Berry, co-authored by both of us, recently came out. And very important is the software, the Kepler and Sirius programs in particular, which implement all of these things. We keep expanding and improving as we discover new things and as people request more things. So that's it, my friends. I hope you found that very helpful. Take care. God bless. Namaste.